Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cass and today I am going to be talking about my weight loss journey and the things that I changed in my lifestyle in order to lose 40 pounds and also keep it off. My issues with my body and my weight date back pretty far in my life. The first instance, I guess, that I can remember of being self-conscious about the way that I looked was when I was about 8 years old. I was over at one of my friend's houses and her mom poked my stomach and said something about how I had a little pooch coming in or something. And I remember being so young that I didn't even understand what was being said to me, like the word pooch or whatever just didn't register in my mind, and I didn't know what was said. And I was in the car with my mom after we left. My mom basically told me that she was commenting on my fat on my stomach, and from that point on I became really self-conscious about the way that my body looked. I always missed out on a lot of those kinds of activities like swimming with friends or things like that because I just felt so self-conscious. I also grew up competing in figure skating, which is a similar sport to ballet, and there's like a physique that they would like you to maintain. Yeah, and it was really toxic for me. I fell into varied patterns in my eating through that time of just trying to figure out kind of which way I could starve my body that would result in me being thinner. And I think through all of that fluctuation, nothing for me really ever happened. My body honestly kind of always stayed the same. I never really gained a ton of weight, but I also never lost those extra pounds that I always was hoping to. I carried that body type and that mentality into college, and also a lack of understanding for nutrition. Even though I was in this sport and trying to train as an athlete, I really never had a good grasp on nutrition, and I never cared about what I was putting in my body in any stripe. I mean, I was a kid, so obviously, but I just would eat all the chocolate cake in the world, all the mac and cheese in the world. Like, if you put it in front of me, I was happy to have it. I didn't think about the ways that different things feel or don't feel your body. So yeah, I came into college where I stopped figure skating, so I didn't have that activity in my life anymore. I tried to supplement that by going to the gym, but I didn't really know what I was doing at the gym. I wasn't going consistently. Yeah, the whole gym thing just wasn't working out for me freshman year. I also lived on campus where I had the dining hall as my source of food, and the dining hall at my school didn't really give you a lot of healthy options. If you wanted healthy food, you pretty much had the salad bar that had the same options every single day for both lunch and dinner. So yeah, I didn't really eat very well. My freshman year, I had gained about 20 pounds. Yeah. And for someone who struggles with body image, that was really tough. It wasn't something that I saw automatically, I guess I would say. I could feel that I wasn't as in shape or that my clothes weren't fitting right, but I wasn't like specifically like, oh, you've gained so much weight. I couldn't really see it or grasp that by the end of freshman year necessarily. And at the end of that year, I ended up going through a really difficult experience emotionally that I didn't handle at all for a good period of time. And in that period of time where I wasn't handling it, wasn't dealing with it, I ended up putting on about 10 more pounds just through emotional eating, stress eating, trying to feel better through food. So yeah, all in all, by the time that the summer after my freshman year was over, I was heading into my second year of college, I had gained a total of 30 pounds. It hurt me a lot mentally. So I remember specifically there was a day I was walking and I could feel like my thighs rubbing together, as they do, they still touch. But it was just a moment for me where I could feel the weight that had been added to my body. I could feel it on my legs and my arms, and like during that walk I could just feel all of the new weight on my body, and I could finally understand and grasp like the fact that I had done that, the fact that I had gained that weight. I remember in that moment, I just wanted it to stop. Honestly, I just wanted it to be over. I wanted to be able to wake up in the morning and look at my body and be fine with what I see and not think twice. I wanted to be able to go downstairs and have my breakfast and not have it be a mental war for the rest of the day about what I ate. I wanted to be able to make it to dinner and want to have my dinner. I just wanted to live a life where I didn't feel so controlled by my weight or by my food consumption or any of that. I wanted a life where there was room for me to actually live and not be so focused on this physical aspect of my life. So after that day, I ended up starting to go to the gym regularly, and I made a commitment to myself that this was finally it. I was finally going to lose the weight. I wasn't going to do this half-assed. I was really gonna take it seriously finally. So for about the next, honestly, I would like to say probably 3 months, so mid-August to like mid-November, I went to the gym, I ran on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I stretched, and I did abs. That was my workout, pretty much every single day. I think there was a few days in there where I would throw some butt workouts in, like some glute activation and things like that. But I had a workout teacher one time who told me the most effective way you'll lose weight, you need to do at least 30 minutes of cardio a day. If you do less, you're not hitting that zone where you're burning the fat. If you're doing more, then you're going to continue burning fat, but at the very least, you need to be hitting 30 minutes of cardio in order to lose fat. So I took that, I went to the gym, and I did my 30 minutes of cardio every single day, pretty much. I mean, there were definitely at least like 1 or 2 days a week where I didn't, but most of the days of every week, I went and I did this. And I also, in that time frame, stopped eating junk food. So I didn't really cut out anything specific from my diet. I just decided like the hamburgers, the pizza, like the always going out to eat, that kind of thing, it needed to stop, and I needed to start putting healthier things into my diet. I don't remember specifically what I was eating around that time, but I know that it was a lot of rice and stir fries, a lot of meat and salads and things, but I was still eating like sandwiches, like bread and dairy. I wasn't really eliminating anything besides just unhealthy. I was just trying to bring my diet more centered towards a healthy diet, but without large amounts of restriction, because I knew myself and I know that it doesn't work well for me. By the time that November rolled around, mid-November, I had lost probably about 20 pounds, I would say. I was doing really well and I was really happy and pleased with what I had accomplished thus far, but I still wasn't 100% satisfied. I mean, I'd only lost 20 of the 30 pounds that I had gained, and even with those 30 pounds, before those 30 pounds, I was still feeling self-conscious about my body, so I knew I still had work to do and I still had things to change in my life. So I believe it was around that point I really started getting into alternating my workouts, and I think this played a huge role in keeping my fat loss going. I think if I had gone to the gym every day and just kept running for 30 minutes and like stopped, then I probably would have stayed around the same physique that I was. So yeah, it was around that like November, mid-November, early December time that I started to take up things like swimming as a different form of cardio, and I also started to weightlift. And I put that in air quotes because for me, weightlifting at that point was going in the little side room at my gym and hiding in a corner and using like the 7.5 dumbbells to do whatever it was that I could figure out. But it was something, and honestly, for anyone who wants to try to get into weightlifting, just go in a small room, go in a small area, and just get some light weights and just try it out, because that's how you start. It's not like you can just walk into the gym one day and you have perfect technique and perfect form and can lift hundreds of pounds. Like, you need to start somewhere. No matter how stupid I felt in those moments doing those things, I'm so grateful now that I just sucked it up and did. By the time mid-December rolled around, I know that I was close to 30 pounds down, and I was proud of myself for what I had accomplished. But with everything that I had accomplished, I knew that I could do more. It was something that I had just struggled with in my life for so long, like that battle with those extra 10 pounds, that since I was finally doing this the right way, I wanted to just keep going, and I wanted to, in the healthiest way possible, push myself and see how far I could go. I wanted to see what I could accomplish and what my body could accomplish. That was when I decided to change my diet around, which my change in diet was probably, I want to say, the biggest factor in all of this, because it's made the biggest change for me in every aspect. So at the time I had a roommate who ate a paleo-based diet, and then I also watched a couple of YouTubers who ate really paleo-based diets, and everyone that I had talked to that does it, the people that I watched on YouTube that did it, all talked about how it reduces inflammation in their body and the way that it really helped kill a lot of bloating for them, how it helped them get to that point where they had taken off their extra 10 pounds or their extra bloat. In my mind, I kind of viewed these last 10 pounds that I had to go as just water weight or something, because it was so permanently on my body that it couldn't just be like my eating anymore. It couldn't just be my exercise level anymore. It had to be something deeper. So for those of you who don't know, paleo is basically grain-free, dairy-free, refined sugar-free, gluten-free. Yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, I actually switched my diet right when I left to go on my winter break, and my winter break was 3 weeks long. And over the course of those 3 weeks, I ate really hardcore paleo. I was so motivated and so dedicated to it that I was so clean in my diet. And I was actually on a cruise. And if you've been on a cruise before, like, you know how the food goes, but like, I came back from my winter break and started getting all of these comments from people about how much I'd slimmed down and all of this stuff. And I decided that I would get on a scale and see what was up, and I had lost those last 10 pounds. I've weighed about 140-ish pounds since I was like 10. So it was like the first time in years that I had seen the number on the scale below 140. I was so proud of myself for doing it right, for not cutting corners and doing it the wrong way. Like, I just felt really accomplished. Yeah, so after that point of losing the weight and keeping it off and just being in a really good space, I just wanted to maintain that. Basically, I knew what it took to be where I was, and I knew that I wanted to stay where I was. So I just really focused on maintenance and growth in my physical and mental lifestyle. I really focused on incorporating new workouts, not only new kinds of workouts, but in my lifting, like different kinds of lifting, working out every single part of my body, not just focusing on lifting glutes or lifting chest or something. I tried to really incorporate every single aspect every single week so that my training became more diverse and was also more exciting for me. And I also got a lot more into cooking from a food standpoint. Becoming paleo and changing into that diet was something that really pushed me to start enjoying cooking. It made me try a lot of new foods that I hadn't tried before. And it also pushed me to get really creative with my meals. And I loved that chance with my cooking to expand and try to think of new meals and think of old meals and find ways to make them paleo. So it has now been about a year and a half since that point where I got to 135, and I currently still sit around the same weight. My body does fluctuate from day to day. It goes up more than it ever really goes down, but it stays in that same place, and I continue to be happy and healthy. For me, it was something that was hard, don't get me wrong. Like, none of this was a walk in the park, but I think the way that I chose to do it made it manageable and it made it accomplishable for me. I think that it's important when we are at these moments where we'd like to make changes to understand that we don't need to change everything all at once. We're human beings and we have a lot of habits and conditions and things that we are just naturally wanting to do, and you can't just wake up and expect all of that to change in one day. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to give yourself the time to make these changes, but you also need to stay disciplined with yourself, and you need to remind yourself of why you want the things that you do. If any of this was based on motivation, nobody would be where they are today, because nobody is motivated 100% of the time. It's really about establishing these habits within yourself and within your day to the point where it's easy and it's natural, and that's why it takes time. It can take people about 3 weeks to establish a new habit. So for each aspect of your life that you want to change, you need to give yourself around a month to just get used to that new change, and you should really try to do it one thing at a time. Give yourself a month to get used to going to the gym every day. Give yourself another month to get used to eating healthy. It's really, really important to understand the time that this takes. Honestly, guys, if you had met me at 15 and told me to go for a run, I would have, no, it would not have happened. I couldn't even run down the block when I was 15. And now running is something I love to do. It's something that I do easily and happily. It really just comes down to a habit change, a mindset change, a lifestyle change. So believe in yourself and don't corner yourself into this place where you think that you can't change, because we are all capable of growth and capable of obtaining whatever it is that we want in life. We just need to believe that we can. We can't hold ourselves back. All right, guys, that is the end of this video today. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way here, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and check back next time for a new video.